G'day. This week I'm in a town like Alice. In fact, I'm in Alice Springs, and it's probably not a bad idea. Sometimes you'll go to a town and you might call in the tourist information, get the general idea and skedoot. So I thought I'd just give you a brief on a couple of things that are there. First of all, the National Transport Hall of Fame. Awesome, great trip. I didn't mention in there, but you can actually walk on to part of the package. You can actually walk on to the old Garn train, which is pretty good, as well as all the trucks. And the other place I went to was the old Telegraph Station. Quite amazing. Sometimes the video footage and the photos weren't that great because I really couldn't convey just how tough it was back in those days when they just had the telegraph to be able to send messages all the way from Darwin all the way down to Adelaide. Anywho, hope you enjoy. Let's go. Good morning, top of the morning to you. Well, I'm in downtown Alice Springs, and I never thought I'd say this, but it's been 9 months since I've actually felt cold. So I've got my jumper on and it's really quite refreshing. I know you people down in the East Coast are saying, you've got to be joking, we're desperate to get nice, hot and warm. But as I say, I've been hot and yeah, basically hot for so long, it is really quite refreshing. So yeah, just about to head off to some of the places in Alice Springs and tell you a little bit about what there is to see here. I'm out the front of the, as you can see, the old Telegraph Station. Just going to take you to a couple of the buildings here. This is about 3 or 4 kilometres out of town. Definitely worth a look. So let's go and check it out. Well, this is a treat. These are actual original, as it says, Australian saddle, which is quite different to the American one. I'm pretty sure the American one's got the big handle in the front to hang on to. Not exactly sure, but yeah, this is an original old Australian saddle. Bridles, various other saddles here, and the water containers. Look at the water containers. Check that out. There's water containers carried by the camels and the horses. Like they're solid steel, they're not like light tin. Shouldn't be touching them, but they're a fair old weight. That's without water. So that was the important part. Probably not so much for the camels, but certainly for the riders. I don't believe this. This box, you can see how high it is. I can scarcely lift it. Now that was used for carrying clothing, medicine, food and all that sort of stuff, and that was tied to the camel. So the camel must have had some big guns on those legs and hooves. Okay, so this is a camel chair, and anybody who's ridden a camel knows it's quite a wild experience, because instead of it, our horses and everything normally get up front feet first and then the back. Camels do it the other way, they get up the back and then the front. So she's a wild old ride. But this is great and in beautiful condition. This place is really something to be proud of. Well done, Alice Springs and the community that got this tidied up and gave these as examples. They really are great. That's something like what the early telegraph poles would have looked like, except I'm pretty sure they would have been timber. This is the classic kitchen, and excuse these they're little white posts to stop the tourists getting in touching things. Very much the early days kitchen. An early classroom for an early classroom teacher. So the teacher, he or she, would stand up the front here, talk to the kids. This looks like it's more of a high school rather than a primary because the chairs and tables are higher up. But teacher would be up here. Might not have been a mobile board like this, probably more likely to be up there, and they'd be doing all that. And the special child in the class got to do this. Well, they're allowed to go out and ring the bell, tell everyone school is starting, and then if they were lucky they might have a second go at it, and they would go and tell everyone that it's home time or it's lunch time or whatever. I'll just do it very quickly. Hope security doesn't come and take me away. What a classic sound. And the other teacher's pet would get to go and clean the duster. So they would go out with a ruler after the teacher had rubbed the board enough times, and they would get the wonderful opportunity on a windy day to bash it, and all the chalk and dust would go all over their face and over their clothes, and then they'd probably go home and get a whooping from their parents because, how come your clothes got so dirty? I'm up on Anzac Hill. Now, what you might be able to see behind me, this is Anzac Hill is used as the kind of lookout for the town. Gives you a real overall of the town. It's great. Just immediately behind me on this side is the shopping precinct, and you've got all the big department stores, Kmart, Target, and any other big ones. There's a good handful in there. The town is kind of cradled by a series of hills, mountains, and I've never known the difference between a hill and a mountain, but yeah, these hills, and they kind of cuddled it in there. So this is what it looks like with me up the road. I'm in Alice Springs, which some people consider the centre of Australia. 1,500 kilometres up to Darwin and 1,500 kilometres down to Adelaide. It's about a 2-hour flight to Adelaide and 3-hour flight to Sydney. I'm actually in the National Transport Museum, which is quite intriguing. It's got a lot of memorabilia about the old Garn and some of the early transportation here in Australia, and also it's got the old trucks and again transportation. So let's go and check out some of the places, some of the things. Well, if you were involved in a house fire or a grass fire, you would call these guys and they would come out. This is from Charters Towers. It's an old fire truck, and what they would do is they would, a couple of guys would run on the side, whatever that's called, and the other guys would sit on the little chairs. You see the chairs, they would sit here and sit here. And here you probably have three man, obviously the driver, co-pilot. And you see here, Claxton horn. One of those, which is great. A little handbrake and that. And if it was at night time, they'd obviously have to fire this thing up, which I think was kerosene, and they get the little light to see where they were going. If you're into Kenworth trucks, you're at the right place. There's probably about 12 of them on that side, another maybe 10 or so on the other side. These are big Kenworths, big trucks, all for long haulage. And excuse the background noise, it's the TV that I can't turn off. But it is, yeah, outstanding. If you're into trucks, you will love this. This is just part of the Greater Museum. Okay, that was this week's, a fairly short one, just all about Alice Springs and a couple of the tourist spots worth going to have a look at. And next week I'll be talking all about, there's a loop just out of Alice Springs that takes you to some really amazing places. So we'll talk about that next week. If you found the video helpful, useful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, it would be great if you did right now. And if you think it's worth sharing, that too would be great. Until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive, signing off.